In this episode of the Cretaceous Campcast, we've got another community Q&A, and who's the guest this time? Well, stick around till after the intro to find out. Hello and welcome to the Cretaceous Campcast. I'm Cretaceous Dave, and this is a podcast all about Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous and Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Before we get into this week's episode, got a couple of small updates. Of course, last week we had the trailer. Awesome. Still riding the high of that trailer. Can't believe we finally got it. I've still watched it at least once a day, trying to see if I pick up anything that I didn't before, but nope, I think between myself and everyone else that covered it last week, I think we got every small detail of that trailer. But May 24th can't come soon enough. Looking forward to it. Two other little bits of news, not really news, but things I wanted to share. First, Collider had an article the other day that didn't really tell us anything we didn't already know about Chaos Theory. But one thing it did say is that two toys in particular are going to originally be Universal Parks exclusives. Now, one of them is Darius with a Trosiraptor Ghost. I feel okay talking about that since we saw Darius and we saw a Trosiraptor Ghost in the trailer. The other toy, I'm not going to say what it is because it could potentially be a spoiler. So I'll just leave that out there. You can check out the article on Collider if you're interested in knowing. But the interesting detail is it says those toys are going to be Universal Parks exclusives. Now, Chris from Jurassic Outpost had said they are only going to be timed exclusives and eventually will be available at other retailers. So don't get too worked up about the fact they're only going to be available at parks and probably overpriced at that, because it does sound like they will be available at other retailers shortly after whatever that timed exclusive window is. Maybe it'll be after the show comes out. Maybe it'll be sometime in the summer. I don't know, but do expect to see those toys on your favorite shelves of whichever stores you normally buy your Jurassic toys at. And the other one is another interesting bit from IMDb. What we've seen so far is they are incredibly unreliable because they did list June 21st as the release date, and we know that is wrong. We know it's May 24th. But if you pop on over to the Chaos Theory page on IMDb, you will see other cast listings. I'm not going to go over what they are because, of course, they could potentially be spoilers if they are accurate. But if your curiosity has you, head on over to the Chaos Theory page on IMDb, and you will see some names that may or may not be familiar and may or may not be surprises. I don't know. It also only lists everybody other than Paul McHale-Williams as one episode, including Sean. And I highly doubt Ben only shows up for one episode of the series, but who knows? And again, take it with a tiny grain of salt because this is IMDb and literally anyone can add to it. So I'm guessing they probably added that based on some speculation or some things that may have been happening or things people have said or posted on social media. I'm not sure. I'll just leave it at that. I'll let you go find it if you're interested in knowing who is listed on there. And finally, before we get into the episode, we are into our Cretaceous Countdown. If you're not familiar with what that is, you apparently don't follow us on social media. Joking. Cretaceous Countdown is what we started on Thursday, April 4th. We started with Season 1, Episode 1 of Camp Cretaceous, and every day we're doing a rewatch of one episode all the way up until Chaos Theory premieres on May 24th. If our math is correct, we should end right before the show comes out. So we wanted to have some fun, do a rewatch, and we're also doing a tweet along at JP_Campcast on Twitter. You can follow along with us and tweet with us that the time we're going to be watching the episodes is at 1 p.m. Eastern time each day. So adjust for your time zone. And if you're able to tweet along with us and watch with us at that time, awesome. We want to have some fun with you all. And if you can't, no worries, watch at your own pace. But we recommend everyone watching, one episode a day and get a full rewatch of Camp Cretaceous in. Even if you're not the biggest fans of seasons 4 and 5, it doesn't hurt to rewatch them. Maybe you'll grow to like them a little bit more, or you'll pick up on some little details you didn't see before. I know every time I rewatch, I pick up little things because, I look for something different every time. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to be fun all the way through May 24th. So again, the Cretaceous Countdown is currently ongoing. Every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be watching a new episode, so keep an eye on our Twitter at JP_Campcast if you want to follow along and tweet along with us. All right, into this week's episode. This episode, we have another community Q&A. For people that may be new to the podcast, unfamiliar with community Q&A, various members of the Jurassic community answer some questions about Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory. I've done a handful of these already, and I've said pretty much every time I really enjoy hearing different people's takes on this. This one in particular got some answers a little bit different than some of the others. Darius has seemed to be a popular answer to question 1 for a lot of people. And, maybe as we get to more of these, we'll get some surprises. Like Jaden, his Dr. May Turner was his. So, that's pretty awesome. And let's see what this guest has to say. So this week on Community Q&A, I've got someone you may know from Jurassic Outpost, from the Dino Score on the Jurassic Park podcast, or his own YouTube channel, Jurassic Caleb. Please welcome Caleb Burnett to the Community Q&A.
Hello, Cretaceous Campcast. My name is Caleb Burnett, and these are my answers to the Cretaceous Campcast Community Q&A.
All right, let's get things kicked off. Who is your favorite human character in Camp Cretaceous?
My favorite human character in Camp Cretaceous is Brooklyn. She's always asking the tough questions, always finding the truth, and I love her conversations with Dr. Wu.
Who is your favorite non-human character in Camp Cretaceous?
My favorite non-human in Camp Cretaceous is the Scorpius Rex. Season 3 in its entirety is so awesome. I love all the carnage that creature causes, and I love the lore and the story of the Scorpius Rex and its ties to the Indoraptor.
What is your favorite episode or scene in Camp Cretaceous?
My favorite episode or scene in Camp Cretaceous? That's really hard to pick. I love the scenes in the Visitor Center, especially with the Scorpius Rex. I love the Spino and the Smilodon. I love the moments with Sammy and Yaz. There's a lot of great things to pick from, so it's hard to pick just one.
If you could change one thing about Camp Cretaceous, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about the show, what would it be? I would have loved it if we'd gone to Isla Sorna at some point. I missed that place, so I guess if I could change one thing, maybe I would involve Isla Sorna somehow.
What are your overall thoughts on Camp Cretaceous as a series?
My overall thoughts on Camp Cretaceous as a series are that it's great. It's awesome to have an animated Jurassic show that ties into the lore of the entire franchise. There are some hits, there are some misses. But I think overall it's awesome. It tells a really engaging, exciting story that's, open to continuing the future of the Jurassic franchise and sort of fills in some of the holes of the lore of the Jurassic franchise at times. So it's really awesome, and I'm glad we have it.
What do you want to see in Chaos Theory?
In Jurassic World Chaos Theory, I would love to see the aftermath of Fallen Kingdom, a movie that I really love, the continuation of that part of the Jurassic story. I'd love to see new dinosaurs, and we're going to see grown-up versions of the characters that we love, and I am excited to see how they figure out and investigate this new world that we live in with dinosaurs roaming free in parts of the world. I hope that with these grown-up versions of the characters that we love, there are some mature, scary, engaging stories in this time in the Jurassic story, and I can't wait to see what holes in the Jurassic story this show fills in.
Which of the Nublar 6 do you think will show up in Chaos Theory?
As far as characters that I think will show up in Chaos Theory, Darius is a lock, and I can't wait to see what his ties to the story of this new world are. I'd love to see what Ben's up to, and Sammy, and Yaz, and Kenji, and how Brooklyn is investigating what's going on in this new world. But it'll be interesting to see what the reasoning is for their ties to this new story and why they show up.
Are there any other characters from the World Trilogy that you'd like to see make an appearance in Chaos Theory?
I hope, and I do think that Dr. Wu will make an appearance in Chaos Theory, sort of continuing some of the unknown parts of his story in the similar way to the way Camp Cretaceous, the original series, did. And I would love to see some members of the DPG maybe show up. I think that might make sense, too.
Do you have any expectations for Chaos Theory?
My expectations for Chaos Theory are, filling in some lore and some parts of the Jurassic story that we haven't seen yet, and maybe answering some questions that we have. And I also hope that maybe with these grown-up versions of these characters, the story matures with them, and that it's just really exciting and engaging and maybe a little scary with some new frightening dinosaurs.
And finally, is there anything you would like to say about what you're working on, things you're doing, where to find and follow you, etc.?
My name is Caleb Burnett. I am at Caleb Composed on all of those social networks that are out there nowadays. If you enjoy Jurassic toy unboxings and vlogs and everything in between, please check out my YouTube channel, Jurassic Caleb. Check out Jurassic World Beyond the Gates on YouTube and everywhere else. That's a series produced by Jurassic Outpost that I was very fortunate to create the music for, and it's an awesome series with awesome toys. And check out the latest episodes of the Jurassic Park podcast, where Brad and I talk about the Lost World score. So, yeah. Thanks for having me, Dave. You're awesome.
All right, huge thanks to Caleb for taking time out of his busy schedule to answer these questions for me. I know he's a super busy guy. He's also an incredibly talented composer. Check out some of his stuff that he's done for Beyond the Gates and Jurassic Outpost. He's a super talented guy. He's also super nice, great person. Again, check him out everywhere that he mentioned. Check out all the stuff that he's doing, stuff that he's working on. And these questions were sent to everyone prior to the Chaos Theory trailer being released. So the question like, which of the Nublar 6 do you think might show up? Obviously, Ben is an answer now. We know that. But just keep in mind, listening to these community Q&As, even if they're not coming out until now or a couple weeks from now, everyone that has answered these questions before the trailer came out. I'm just trying to spread them out so that every week isn't a new community Q&A episode back to back to back to back to back. After Caleb's, I do have one more that's ready to go. I've got a couple other people that are interested but haven't sent their answers in yet. But if anyone out there is listening, is interested in participating in community Q&A, I'm going to try to come up with maybe some different questions and have a different batch for the second round of community Q&A participants. So reach on out to me at Cretaceous_Dave on Twitter, or the podcast account at JP_Campcast. You could follow the podcast at Cretaceous Campcast on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok. And I think that's just about it. So, until next time, thanks for watching and or listening, and everyone stay safe, stay Jurassic, and have yourselves a great one. So long.